Since you mentioned, Karima, it also depends on the artist. Today you are successful, no doubt. But you also mentioned that you were an angry, grumpy teen. Still you are. You are allowed to be mischievous and everything. But proportion कम हुआ है. ये journey, walk me through the process. कुछ meditation किया आपने, क्या किया ये यहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए. You are very calm. I can feel that peace now. But I'm sure आपसे मैं अगर 10-12 साल पहले मिलता तो मुझे एक हलचल, एक वो एंशियस वाली एनर्जी, या वो एनर्जी जो आप फील करते हैं किसी हाई ऑक्टेन पर्सन हु इज लिविंग अ वेरी हाई ऑक्टेन लाइफ, ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, ये कमाया खर्चना है, वो वाली एनर्जी मुझे फील होती है. अभी मुझे बहुत, जिसे कहते हैं ठहराव, ये ठहराव कैसे आया ये मैं जानना चाह रहा हूँ.
So I think one of the bigger realizations that I had when I quit my job as an art director at 21 was the fact that just because I'm quitting a highly stressful job does not mean suddenly मैं peaceful हो जाऊंगी. Just because I'm pursuing something I like does not mean I will suddenly become peaceful. I also came to a realization that I am an anxious person. The anxiety is within me. Yes, the environment may trigger my anxiety, so I can maybe change my environment so that the triggers are lesser, but the anxiety is still within me. So I would still get very worked up with soul works, with how things are happening, with the unknown territory that I was treading at that time. Still am, of course. And for me, I realized at that time कि यार ये anxiety का मुझे ही कोई solution निकालना पड़ेगा. ये environment से इसका लेना देना नहीं है. ये मेरे अंदर है, मुझे ही इस पे काम करना पड़ेगा. At that time, I started working with a lot of meditation practices. I would qualify myself as a classical spiritual shopper. I
classical
no longer
spiritual shopper.
am. But I would qualify myself as a classical spiritual shopper for at least 10 years of my life.
I don't even know what it means.
So spiritual shopper is a term that is given to people who love exploring everything that they believe will help them evolve on the spiritual path. So for example, I've done Vipassana twice. In 2012 and 2014. I've done Osho for a short period of time.
Did Vipassana lead you to Osho or Osho lead you to Vipassana?
Neither. They're all
they are
very
not connected to each other.
No, they're not connected to each other.
Achha, interesting. Because Osho in his philosophy he talks about meditation and Vipassana is at the core of his way of. So I would be curious कि Osho में क्या आपने जाना समझा, Osho को क्या समझा? Because everybody's interpretation is different, right?
Right. Honestly, I wouldn't talk about Osho as much because my sneak peek into Osho was for a very short period of time. Vipassana was much longer, far more serious, very dedicated, very disciplined on that path.
You did that 10-day meditation or 3-day?
10 days.
10 days.
10 days, yeah.
Did you cry even once during those 10 days period?
Why is that question? I cry every day.
Yeah, because you cry because I'm a man. No, I'm one of those the typical toxic man.
I was joking and telling mom. I was like, crying is like doing, is like flushing down your toilet. You got to do it. And it's so easy to get overwhelmed with life. It's about how much you are willing to feel of life. So, जैसे आप खाना खा रहे हो, going to the washroom, no? Just like that, you're experiencing so much of life, and if you're somebody who feels deeply about everything, you get overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, the easiest way for me to release that overwhelming feeling is to cry. And I'm not crying out of sadness or out of happiness. I'm simply crying because I'm just overwhelmed with life. It's so much. It's so much. So I cry every day, but so that's okay.
No, the reason I ask this because for me the experience has been because when you sit with yourself for that longer period, आपके दिमाग में बहुत कुछ ख्याल आते हैं और especially call it toxic or whatever कि लड़के नहीं रोते हैं और नहीं रोना चाहिए. I lost my father 2 years back and I remember I told myself that I have to be strong for my mother, for my family members. So even if I have to cry, I will go cry when I'm by myself and nobody else is looking. So I know I need to work on this. So I come from that place. Just to answer you कि क्यों पूछा मैंने कि तो क्या कुछ कोई उनमें से कोई एक दिन इतना इंटेंस हुआ कि आपको रोना आया? But your answer is every day you cry. I mean that's fair.
Every day would be an exaggerated word, but I cry. I cry whenever I feel like I'm overwhelmed with life.
Just like laughter is a normal thing to do.
Very
Crying is also.
It's very normal for me. So I think I don't question crying anymore. No, it's just a way of processing life. It's just that. So Vipassana happened. Osho happened. Reiki happened. Reiki again I did for about 2.5-3 years of my life, very dedicatedly, very sincerely. I did Isha for about 1 year, very dedicatedly again.
Inner engineering?
In engineering. I've done engineering, I've done Bhavas Bandhana, which is the next step to engineering. And
did you go to Coimbatore or
Coimbatore? Yeah. I've done everything to the fullest capacity that I possibly could. And hence I say that I'm a spiritual shopper. Also I say that I'm a spiritual shopper because I've done everything and I've taken a sneak peek. I've opened the window, I said मुझे देखना है क्या है. मैंने देख लिया, but now I'm like मुझे दूसरा भी देखना है कि यहाँ पे क्या है. So I say जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना विंडो शॉपिंग करते हैं, this is spiritual shopping. कि आप सब चीज देख रहे हो, but आप before you move ahead you're saying मैं दूसरा भी देखना चाहती हूँ. मैं अब पूरी तरीके से अपने आप को इन्वेस्ट नहीं करना चाहती. That phase ended. I think about 2 years back that phase ended. But until then it was more like I want to see this also, I want to see that path of the faith also, I want to see chanting also, I want to see Namyo Harenge ke also. मुझे सब कुछ करके देखना है. So that's a spiritual shopper.
Of all these things, which one or two things were the most helpful in your transformation? Because certainly it's a transformation.
Vipassana, any day. Any day, yeah. For me, it was always Vipassana, and I think Vipassana has stayed back in many ways. About just coming back to equanimity, about don't get so swayed away with life, or don't react so easily. The reaction is not necessary everywhere. You can respond to life. Don't react to life. Just stay with it. Just stay with things. That changed my attitude in a huge way. So when you ask me that Thehrao, I would give all the credit to Vipassana. That just 10 days of work changed my attitude. And I would definitely say that wherever I am in Soulworks today is hugely because of that 10-day 2 retreats.
But also it is a continuous process, no? 10 दिन में खत्म नहीं होता. आप फिर घर आते हैं, फिर घर पे भी it's just the way you learn कि कैसे ध्यान किया जाए. And then maybe you are in a conversation and you are still in a meditative state. You being here present
active
and responding to my
is everything.
My question is, I didn't send you a pre-written or scripted question, right? This is, you are here in this moment. And from my perspective, I see all that also as meditation. कि आप इस लम्हे में हैं और आप जान रहे हैं क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है. You're just witnessing that moment. In order to respond, by the way, you have to be in present moment. If you live in the past, if you're living in the past, you can't respond to the present.
Reactions are usually when you're living in the past. इसने ऐसा किया तो मैं ऐसा करूँगा. उसने ऐसा किया तो आप रिस्पॉन्ड करो ना. आपको क्या चाहिए? Not because उसने क्या किया. आपको क्या करना है आप वो करो. Irrespective उसने क्या किया. वो रिस्पॉन्स है.
Like the river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. 'Some things are meant to be. Like the river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. 'Some things are meant to be. 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 'Some things are meant to be.